Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please get down there, follow me across all my social media platforms, or talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as the links to all of my YouTube pages. Please get down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. With that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets losing to the Atlanta Falcons 20-27. 20-27, the Falcons beat us in London. Boy, this was a tough game to watch. It really, really was. And it was tough because, yet again, the New York Jets offense comes out slow, is not able to get anything started at all early, and puts us in a hole. And that's where I'm going to start, with the offensive side of the ball. Let me tell you something. Zach Wilson today, not very good, especially short and intermediate. Some of his passes were terrible. They were terrible. Look, there were guys wide open in the flat. There was one play in particular where Jamison Crowder is wide open in the flat just by himself. And Zach unloads and the ball goes into the dirt. There were so many balls all over the place that he was throwing that were hitting the dirt. Guys that were open coming across the middle intermediate that he could not hit and connect with. Not everything is about a deep shot, Zach. Like, you got to clean that stuff up, man. You've got to. Because what teams are going to start doing is they're going to say, okay, well, we'll play deep. We won't give up the big play. And we'll force you to get things done up front. You got to hit these short passes, bro, in these tight windows, or we're going to eat you up. And that's what teams are starting to do here. And the Jets offense is struggled in this game like they've struggled in the past. We only have one first half TD in the entire 5 games that we've played. I'm going to say it again. One first half TD in the entire 5 games that we've played. It's insane. Zach Wilson was 19-32 on the day, had 192 yards and an interception. And that interception was terrible because he locked onto the wide receiver, and pretty much everybody in the building, especially on the Atlanta Falcons defense, knew where he was going. And it was an easy interception, an easy one. Zach was not good today. He really wasn't. Our running game was decent. Michael Carter, he looked very solid out there. 38 yards on the day, but he had a TD. Our wide receiver usage, our wide receiver core today just wasn't able to get things done as we thought. Corey Davis had 4 catches for 45 yards, but the big question, as it always is the usage of Denzel Mims. Let me break this down. We come out, right? We get a penalty, backs us up. It's 1st and 20. So we go, man, what is going to happen here, right? This is a little bit later on in the game. Denzel Mims is out there on the field. Zach Wilson drops back, finds Denzel Mims for, I think it was like a 22 or 23-yard catch. Big play. The offense is getting rolling. Next thing we know, they take Denzel Mims out and put him straight to the bench right after the big play. I don't get it. What is the problem here? Why can't this kid be unleashed so that he could be utilized properly within this offense? Our offense is struggling, and we get something going here when we put this kid in, which we've seen him, when he's used, be able to come in and make big plays. Immediately taken out the game. His usage is horrific. I just don't understand what's going on here. Elijah Moore didn't have a catch on the day either. He went without 0 catches. What I don't get about Mike LaFleur, and the play calling in this game was a little suspect, especially offensively, right? But what I don't get about LaFleur is, if you look at all the other offenses in the NFL that are succeeding, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Saints, right? There are guys on their offense that you can identify as going to get the ball in this game. You look at the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, he's going to get the ball. We all know that. You look at the Saints, Kamara, he's going to get the ball. We all know that, right? But those play callers, those offensive minds that are with the Chiefs and the Saints are able to draw up plays to get their guys the ball, to ensure that they can get them started early. They identify players. Look, this is the guy that I definitely want to make sure gets a hot hand early. Let's call something to make sure that he gets in the game early and gets going. And LaFleur just doesn't do that. He just doesn't. The offensive struggles just ho-hum. The offensive play calling very conservative early. And it puts us in a hole. We were down 20-3 at the half. 20-3. And honestly, it could have been worse than that. It could have absolutely been worse than that. Because our defense was able to play. And that's where I want to go next, because we were able to get back into the game in the 4th quarter, due to a lot of mistakes, honestly, by the Falcons. But we were able to get back into it 20-17 with about 6 minutes and 55 seconds left in the 4th quarter. But Right when we gave the ball, back to the Falcons after the kickoff, guess what? They were able to drive down on a 75-yard drive for a TD. And it's because the defense was kind of gassed, man. They were gassed. They had been on the field all day long. All day long, man. Listen, Matt Ryan, we had 7 sacks last week. This week, we get 0 sacks against Matt Ryan. He was 33 of 45 on the day. He had 2 TDs and he threw for 342 yards. We just couldn't get to him, man. And he was finding guys. And one of the guys that he went to early and often was Cordell Patterson. It was the Cordell Patterson show. It was the Cordell Patterson show, man. And what's crazy is we talked about this consistently on the last radio show. We knew they were coming in without Ridley. We knew they didn't have Gage. They were lacking weapons offensively. What did we say? Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, we got to stop these guys. And we were not able to stop Patterson. He had 54 yards rushing, 60 yards receiving. This guy was all over the place. And when things were breaking down, when everything was going on and maybe Matt Ryan had some pressure on him, he would just find Cordell, just get the ball to Cordell, and Cordell was making a play and getting the first down, moving the chains. This dude Kyle Pitts had a day as well. 9 catches, 119 yards. He had a TD too. There was times when he was running around wide open within the defense, wide open. There was a play where he came out and ran down the field, split the safeties, and was running down the middle of the field by himself, just threw his hands up on a bad coverage. It was insane, some of the things that we were seeing, man. Guys were just wide open, wide open. A lot of people question some of the play calling defensively too, particularly watching John Franklin Myers be put in coverage against Kyle Pitts. That's a mismatch off the bat, especially when you got a guy like C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley should have been on Pitts all day. C.J. Mosley and a safety. The defense was able to get 2 turnovers, though. They got 2 fumble recoveries. But, giving them back to the Jets offense, the Jets offense did nothing with it. They just did nothing with it. This was a brutal game to watch. It was brutal. It was brutal. And again, a lot of the reason why we were able to come back and get into the game late was because the Falcons honestly were just kind of drain the clock. That's all they were trying to do. Their drives were just draining the clock. They ran the ball and just winded the clock down constantly. They dominated the time of possession early in this game. Early in this game, they dominated the time of possession. Another thing that hurt us as well, penalties. This is a consistent thing that we're seeing with this team. Constantly penalized. 7 penalties today, 58 yards. And a lot of those penalties were in critical spots where we could have gotten the Falcons off the field, but we helped extend their drive. There was one penalty by one of our safeties, grabs a guy on 3rd and 10, and it helped them to extend their drives after the defensive penalty, defensive pass interference. It helped the Falcons extend the drive to keep rolling. We couldn't get them off the field at times because we were hurting ourselves. How many times did we see holding calls defensively on a Falcons running play to help them get more yardage? I mean, it was bad, man. It was bad. And they've got to clean these things up going forward because this is a very frustrating game to watch. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. What are your thoughts about this loss by the New York Jets to the Falcons? What are your thoughts about these slow starts offensively? I want to hear from you folks. Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.